What is financial literacy and why is it so important? Financial literacy is one of the most important skills that they never teach you properly in school. What do I mean by that is that the educational system spent hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars trying to teach you all the 5 stages of how cells replicate, what all the elements in the periodic table are, and what the capital of Nigeria is. And don't worry, I don't remember these things either, but what's sad is that instead of wasting your and their time with things that very few 13 to 16-year-old kids would end up remembering in the long run, the school system could have easily taught you the basics of how money works, what it means, how it's valued, and most importantly, how to keep your own finances in order. And despite the fact that finance is indeed a complex discipline, I can guarantee you that apart from being much more productive and beneficial for the future well-being of the youngsters, the study of money will also come much more naturally to them than the dimensional formula for power that they studied in their physics class. Now, if you take aside the complexity of the word literacy, in reality, as you've probably already guessed, being financially literate means that you generally know how money works and you can make, save, manage, and invest it properly. You see, we live in a money-driven world where everything that you see, touch, or do has a certain monetary and or economic cost associated with it. Not knowing how to evaluate different financial scenarios and or opportunities in your own life inevitably leads to financial misfortunes, troubles, and lack of stability. For example, it's not a great idea to get a car loan in order to buy yourself a better looking car 6 months into your first job, right? Well, guess what? Many do just that, following the famous saying that you only live once, right? Or my other personal favorite on the list of the worst financial advices ever. Go ahead, spend money and travel the world in your 20s. There are many reasons why these decisions will drastically slow down your financial progress, but let's just focus on the most obvious one: time. What most young people fail to understand is that time is their greatest asset, friend, tool, and a secret weapon. Why is that the case, you might ask? Well, because of the power of compound interest, or in other words, the ability to generate interest not only on your principal, but also on the previously generated interest from prior periods, and accumulate these sums over time. The great Albert Einstein called that the eighth wonder of the world and the greatest force in the universe. Let that sink in. Now, I know that this might sound confusing, so let me give you a very simple example that will inevitably clear it up for you. Let's take 2 scenarios for this illustration. In scenario A, on your 20th birthday, you invest the $1,000 that you had managed to save from your summer job in a low-cost index fund that tracks the S&P 500 benchmark index in the US, and you manage to add $100 per month to that investment for the next 10 years. Since adopting 500 stocks into the S&P 500 index in 1957, the average annual return of the market has been somewhere in the ballpark of 8%. Thus, at the end of year 10, your initial investment of $1,000 together with your total monthly contributions throughout these 10 years, or $12,000, would have grown to $19,543. So technically, the 20-year-old you has given your 30-year-old self a present worth nearly $20,000 by simply being financially literate, aware, and informed. If you think that this is impressive, well, let me tell you what you can give as a present to your 40-year-old self. In scenario B, we take the exact same parameters of scenario A, but we will change the number of years from 10 to 20 in order to show you the true power of compound interest and sound financial decisions combined and applied early in your life. The original $1,000 investment made on your 20th birthday, together with your total monthly contributions throughout these 20 years, or $24,000, would have grown to the mind-blowing $59,575 by your 40th birthday. Now, let me show you where things get really interesting. Let's look at how much will that $1,000 invested by our 20-year-old self grow to if we wrap it as a present for our 50-year-old self? Well, I really hope that you're sitting down because I'm sure that the results are going to blow your mind. By your 50th birthday, the amount would have grown to $146,003. And all of that with an insignificant initial investment of only $1,000 and a mere $100 contribution per month. Does this sound that difficult? Does reaching financial independence require for you to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest? No. All it takes is to be financially literate and to avoid making costly mistakes. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you're going to become financially independent with only $146,000. But think about what you could do if your initial investment is not $1,000, but let's say $10,000. You would be sitting on nearly $1.5 million by the time you reach 50. And I'm sure that that's a lot of money for everyone, right? So I'm sure that you never even thought that it was possible to make $146,000 with an initial investment of only $1,000. But now you know that. Thus, you would probably understand why I think that spending your youth wasting money left and right on things that you could and most likely would have the opportunity to do and enjoy in a much better way just few years down the line is the worst financial decision that you can ever make. You see, guys, time is the most precious commodity out there, as it is the only thing that we can't buy back. The later you start taking control over your finances, the lower your chances of being financially independent become. As you can see, there are huge differences in the end investment results and the total return over a 10, 20, 30-year period, and even seemingly small amounts can produce fortunes over time, thanks to the power of compound interest. Having the ability to understand and apply a variety of different financial skills can end up opening many doors for you, doors that you previously thought were impossible to open. As you will probably agree, things like personal financial management, budgeting, and investing are essential in everyone's life. However, at the same time, if I ask you even a simple question like what are the core personal finance principles, many of you would say that they don't know. In times filled with plenty of economic, political, and public health uncertainties, as well as record levels of indebtedness by both individuals and companies, we are seeing a general decline in financial literacy skills among young people. Some would even argue that the record-breaking debt levels that the average person in developed countries is currently sitting on is a direct result of the poor financial literacy skills of the population in these countries. Unfortunately, we're also seeing things like day trading stocks, commodities, forex, cryptos, etc. becoming increasingly popular, with financial tools like leverage and margin trading being used from non-professional investors on a daily basis in their pursuit of making millions overnight. Now, I can't really stress that enough, but guys, there's no such thing as getting rich quick or making millions overnight. Please understand and accept that as a universal truth. And I'm not asking you to do that just because I'm telling you to do so. It's just because there are 0 people in this world who made fortunes overnight. Period. Success, both in life and in the market, comes only after putting in serious amount of effort, building the right set of skills, expanding your knowledge continuously, failing time and time again, not giving up, and having the patience to let things play out in the long run. This is the truth. However, many people prefer to run away from that truth just because the truth is hard, difficult, and requires a lot of time, commitment, hard work, and sacrifices. They willingly choose to be delusional and go after the countless get-rich-quick schemes, financial gurus, secret money formulas out there. What's even more sad is that by spending your money on things like that, you are getting yourself further away from financial independence. If you're sick and tired of listening to bullshit left and right and really want to learn real-life, tested, personal finance strategies that will take your finance game to the next level, Stick around as we're just getting started.